Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 47 of the Gilded City to the Lost Kingdom. We are back once again for another thrilling episode. Let us know that you're excited to be here with us by liking and subscribing here on the YouTube channel. Leave us a comment as well to tell us what you liked. Also, hey, follow the podcast as well. If you're a podcast listener, you can find us on a couple of different podcast platforms. So check us out there. And also follow us on social media at Rollers Guild DND on Threads, Instagram, and TikTok for the next 6 to 12 months. Call your senators. I actually, by the time this airs, it'll be too late. The Senate will have already voted on it. So, anyway,
we're doing it specifically to throw you a loop. You just got used to saying X and threads and everything else.
Yeah, and now I have to think. It's a whole.
You were getting too good, Ben. You were getting too good.
It was getting too smooth. We have to throw a wrench in it. But hey, we're gonna jump back into our D&D game because that's what we do here. So let's go ahead and dive on in to tonight's episode. Content warning. Ravenloft as a setting can feature disturbing themes and ideas, and while it is never going to be our intention to upset anyone, it is worth noting. Specific tags can be found in the description of this episode. Last time, the party executed a perfect plan and defeated several devils that had taken up residence in Castle Avernus. After handling the devils, the party returned to Ebashaeth to receive their reward for handling them. In addition to a beautiful great axe for Bowmin, Jinarra and Artemis convinced Ebashaeth to part with a magical suit of light armor for Nyx as well, in exchange for 20,000 gold pieces. After leaving the castle, the party decided it might be best to return to Nevichar Springs before journeying back to Firan Zal'Honan and taking the final steps of their long journey through the mists. So, you return to the multicolored lights of the streets of Nevichar Springs in the evening. And, people, as you were entering the village, are saying, the very familiar, like, never wait to wash away the old you, as you sort of enter. Anyone who wants to, feel free to make me an insight check.
Bowmin got a 7.
28.
28.
Natural 1.
Yeah, me too.
Nice. Well, Jinarra notices this at first and is able to point it out to the rest of you, but like the vibes here are better than they were previously. People don't seem to be as nervous. They don't seem to be carrying as much tension like in their shoulders anymore. You still smell the sulfur from the springs, but you take it that's a natural part of the spring water. you know, while you know from Quilanthe and Cardina that Darkon's days are numbered, though it's unclear how long that's going to be, the evil that Cardina had invited into this town is gone, thanks to your efforts as a group, and particularly thanks to the efforts of Elina. And the people here seem to be breathing easier as a result. But you're back in town, make your way back to Quilanthe's sort of apothecary shop. As you sort of enter, she says, welcome back. I wasn't sure that you all would be returning back here, but I welcome you. How was your quest?
Surprisingly went smooth.
It was
We got what
productive.
we needed.
How have you been?
Fine. You know, just sort of working with Mother and trying to, you know, figure out other options sort of for the community. Trying to figure out how quickly we need to worry about other options. It's hard to tell how quickly Darkon will be completely swallowed by the mist, so. But, yes, thank you for your aid before. Once again, if you would like to stay here again, you're more than welcome to. I've patched up the window, so.
Oh, great, thank you.
Yes.
That must have been great, thank you.
I would appreciate it, however, if you are going to have another brawl in my apartment, if you could not do that.
Sure, I mean, life and death situations only, but agreed.
Great. Well, you all look tired. We should, I'll make you some food. I'll close up shop and make you all some food and get you settled in for the night.
I was gonna
Thank
say,
you.
Ben, what time of day is it?
It's evening.
Okay.
So yeah, it takes, you know from getting to Castle Avernus, it takes quite a while to sort of make that trek across Darkon. It wasn't that late in the day by the time you left Castle Avernus, but just making it back to Neverchar Springs, especially without Calanthe to guide you, and mostly doing it based off of like your memory of how you got to Castle Avernus in the first place. It took you a little longer to get back, so. But you managed the trip without difficulty. Yeah, is there anything anybody wants to do now, or do you want to do a long rest and we'll officially enter sort of downtime?
When we're alone, Bowmin wants to float a couple ideas to the group, just because he's really been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Since this whole thing. So, isn't it funny how we assumed that this realm was in turmoil because they lost their Dark Lord? But we know from evidence of what we know now, the Dark Lord didn't die. He's just not here. But we also know that he can come back here because that's what the dragon said as well.
True.
So why is this realm falling apart?
Do we know for
Maybe.
sure if the realm is falling apart, or do they just assume it's falling apart?
Well, it's being consumed by the mist. They have been able to catalog the mist encroaching on their territory.
Maybe it's just changing.
And you do, I will say, you do know that it, like, different chunks of Darkon are separated from each other by bands of mist. So like you all had to go through sections of mist to get to other parts of Darkon. To get
Maybe they're
back.
just suffering from climate change.
But Artemis makes a good point. Maybe it's just changing. You guys don't have enough information to know whether it's
Climate change. A good point.
No, well, that sure, yeah. You know, there's a
Well-
reason 99.9% of scientists agree about it, but anyway.
That last percentage aren't scientists. Not in my book. Anyway, so I mean,
I'm
we're
more-
going to put him. I mean, in theory, he's going to come back, and then that would stop it. Or the guy's
we-
just gonna go do his own thing. He's
do we
escaped.
know? Do we know that?
I mean, we don't, but
Why did he leave in the first place?
well, I mean, if I was trapped for decades and decades and millennia and etc., I'd want to get out too. If for no other reason, just to show that I could.
I don't have any personal connections to this realm besides the people we have met here. I'm more just curious because I am thinking in the back of my head of how we left Falcovnia, and how that was. We killed their Dark Lord, and we left them without something. Furthermore, I
That's
was
true.
thinking because I do have a missed talisman, or at least a connection to Falcovnia still. We could have people, if they want to leave here, go to Falcovnia, which is a realm that we know for sure is pretty chill at this point.
That is true. It's an option.
How many people can use a missed talisman? As many as,
As long as they all hold hands, I would think. Just,
but you could only do it once.
I think.
No, you can use it a couple times.
Yeah, the mist talismans don't go away when you reach your destination. Like, you still have.
So we could return
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. If you wanted to.
Huh.
I mean, how else were you gonna get back to Firan?
Oh
instance.
yeah. Huh. I just
Well-
assumed someone else in the group had that figured out. Some sort of spell or something.
Well, anyways, I think in the morning, if we are gonna be here for a couple of days, I was going to try to help the people of this village to move up shop and maybe write them a note for Diesel and see if they would be willing to take some more people.
I mean, if we can check in with them and be like, "Hey, is everything burning? Is
Well-
everything falling apart? Are the mists closing in?"
Is
To make sure that we didn't, you know.
since Elina's been around traveling for
Yeah.
a long time,
Yeah.
is it possible that I might know of another place where these people could go? Like someplace I may have visited in the past?
Yeah, I mean, there's no like 100% entirely safe domain of dread, right?
Sure.
But go ahead, we'll call it a history check. And you're going to get one option regardless of what you get, but I might give you more options if you roll well enough.
I
So-
rolled a nat 20 for a
Oh!
27. 27. So
Great.
Is that well?
Yeah.
I've traveled.
You have traveled. You've been to a lot of domains. Shockingly, none of the domains that you've been to thus far on this journey, but you've been to a lot of other domains. I think the very first thing that comes to your mind is, well, you know, Morden isn't that bad, except for the ghosts, right? I mean,
Ghosts-
there's a
ghosts
bunch
aren't
of
that bad.
there's a bunch of ghosts there, but they weren't that bad. Van Richten's set up shop there, like that's where his home is. You know, there are definitely worse options than Mordant. You know, the carnival, I think, is another place. Like, if people like the carnival lifestyle, like, the woman in charge was not, you know, chill, but as long as you were pulling your own weight and not breaking her rules, it seemed like a perfectly fine place to live. Sort of trying to think of other good options of places to go. I mean, Falkovnia definitely, like, based on what you saw, that definitely seems like it improved, but you're not super sure, like, how, you're not super sure how long, like, if Falkovnia is going to collapse at some point, because it might,
Not
you don't
the
know.
most stable.
Right. There is, this kind of strikes you as kind of a weird option. There is Barovia, which was the first domain of dread for which all of these places are named, because Ravenloft is the castle there. You know that it's you were briefly in Barovia at one point in the past with some Vistani. Like, it's not a great place, right? It's ruled over by an evil vampire who is displaying some real incel behavior at all times and trying to find the reincarnations of his brother's fiance, who he was secretly in love with. So he's a real incel, but as long as these people aren't her reincarnations and stay in the village limits, they're probably gonna be fine. So there's Barovia. That occurs to you. I'm really sorry, Strahd fans, that I described him as an incel. He is an incel. There's there's Demon Lu. Demon Lu also isn't, like, again, no place is great. But in the grand scheme of things, Demon Lu is very much a place where, like, everybody's, like, very poor, but they're pretending like they're rich. And everybody's trying to go to this, like, these magnificent balls and parties and stuff. And again, like, as long as you don't get the ire of the Dark Lord there, you're probably fine. In the grand scheme of things. And then you very much know some places, like, to avoid at, like, all cost. Like Blute Spire, which is home to an entire civilization of mind flayers, ruled over by a sick and dying elder brain that has gone crazy in its old age.
Fun.
So that would be a bad one. Or like Valachan, which is very much a most dangerous game type place. For those of you familiar with that short story. So, you know, those are definitely no bueno options. So yeah.
Okay. I'm going to, like, write down all of this information, just like on a sheet of paper or
Yeah.
something, if I can find it. And in the morning, I'm gonna give it to Calanthe and say,
Yeah.
hey, this is the places that I've been and some of the things that I know.
Yeah, and you can basically create a list of every domain of dread you've been to and what the sort of deal is there, what the vibes are there, and yeah, you can sort of create that list, just sort of present to her.
Is there like a printing press in town that I could, like, make a bunch of copies and flyer the entire city?
Well, you know, why don't we go ahead and officially
Timeshare.
move into downtime then?
Sorry.
And we could, no, that's okay. And we can have that be one of the things that you can look into. For everybody who's reading the books, let's say you know, we've got 3 days of downtime here. For everybody reading the books, you cannot do anything but read the books and sleep, right? If you want to finish the books in time. So you're reading and sleeping, and that's it. For the rest of you, you got lots of options about how you can do things. So we'll go ahead. We'll go with Elina first here. You're gonna look for, so you create this list and you sort of take it to Calanthe, and she's sort of talking with her mom, and you know, they sort of look up as you come in, and they're like, oh, Elina, how can we help you?
Well, I'm hoping that maybe I can help you. I have been a lot of places within this realm and throughout different domains, and I wanted to see if possibly I could give the people of Neverchar Springs. Is that right? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
The options that are available, and of course, as you know, none of them are going to be perfect. However, there are some much worse than the others. So here's my list.
Oh, and it's like a whole like pamphlet that you've sort of written up on multiple sheets of paper here, and they sort of look through it with you, and you know, Cardina says like, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate for you for intervening and preventing me from doing something I would regret. If certainly, we've been discussing Quilanthe, myself, and some of the other druids here have been sort of discussing options moving forward, and I know at least some of us are not ready to abandon all hope yet.
Of course not.
It certainly is. It's good to know that there are options for those who do want to depart.
Is there a printing press or somewhere I could make like copies so that we can distribute these?
Yes, I actually there is a fellow named Johannes has a printing press. Don't shake your head at me, Zuzu.
Very historically accurate.
There's a fellow here named Johannes who has a printing press, and he'd be happy to help you. Actually, he would typically charge for this sort of thing, but I'll come with you and we'll get them made up together. He'll, once he knows what this is for.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can spend your downtime getting those printed up and like handing them out to people or posting them on notice boards or taking them to spas or what have you. Is there anything else you want to do with your downtime? You got about 3 days here, so you've got a little bit of time to do something else if you wanted to.
If Bowmin or Penny need anything, like, or want to do stuff together, we can
Great.
do stuff together, but otherwise, nothing in particular.
Right. Bowmin, you had a pitch as well for Gardenia and Quilanthe, so why don't we start with that?
Sure. So, I know that you want to possibly leave here or stay, that whatever works. But I do have a contact in Polkovnia. I will. Last time we were there, their population had dwindled down quite a bit, and so there's plenty of room for as many people as they really want there. I mean, the mist does mess with, time and stuff, but so I don't know how long time period would change. Bit of a catch though. We did kill their Dark Lord in that one. So, But as far as we know, the realm didn't immediately start imploding on itself. So
Quilanthe sort of nods at this and says, well, if nothing else, it's less far along in its deterioration than Darkon is. It's been a while since Azul and Rex disappeared here. So if it's only recently that their Dark Lord was removed from the equation, perhaps the deterioration isn't isn't so far along.
yes,
Be worth investigating.
and like I said, I do have a contact in there, so I could write a letter of recommendation, I guess, in other words, for lack of a better term, to just say that you come in peace, you're not invading, you're not trying to hold any power, you're just trying to live.
Yeah.
But, so just let me know and I can get things sorted out for you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we haven't decided. Some of us are planning on staying here. We're not sure how many people want to leave, but if you don't mind writing a letter of recommendation or two, we could send them with anybody who decides to go to Volkovnia. Your friend Elina stopped by. She had a list of all these different domains as like options to go to, and I think she and my mother are gonna hand out the list to people in town. And so if we had a couple copies of letters of recommendation, if anyone decided they wanted to go to Volkovnia, that could be helpful.
Yeah, of course. I'll get on that immediately.
Right? Yeah, you write up a few letters of recommendation for people going to Volkovnia. Is there anything else you want to do with your downtime?
Does Penny want to train with Bowmin?
Sure. Penny's downtime is just going to be at the spa and shooting things.
Great. Penny, when you're at the spa, could you just go ahead and make a your choice, religion or insight check?
Probably insight. Let me check here. There's no shot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna do insight. Okay, the 17.
17, that's pretty good. Yeah, one of the days you're in the spa, which does use water from the magical springs, but it's not as concentrated here. With the 17, you're not able to get like a full sort of vision. But what sort of things have been really weighing on Penny's mind recently?
Probably, I think she's probably getting really homesick now.
Yeah.
Especially after figuring out that her mom was fake for good.
Yeah.
And then also I feel like she is kind of worried about Artie as things get closer.
Yeah.
You did shoot me just like 2 days ago.
Okay, but that was against her own will. She wouldn't have done that ordinarily, usually. Probably.
With a 17, I'll say just chilling in the spa in this spring water, you get sort of, these things aren't really on your mind right now. 17 is not high enough to get a vision per se, but it is high enough that, as far as home is concerned, you sort of just get this feeling. You're not sure where, but where this feeling is coming from. But you get this feeling that, not that it makes being homesick better per se, but you get this feeling that back at home, your father's doing well. You left him in a pretty good position, all things considered. And you just get the sense that he's doing okay. He misses you and your brothers, you feel like, but get the sense that he's doing all right. Which, might help a little in terms of being worried about missing home. You also, I would say, get the sense that Octavia is sort of feeling very swamped with work, but is you still get a sense that she's happy, for whatever that's worth. When your mind turns to being worried about Artemis and what's coming for Artemis as you get closer, this spa is, lit with the same kind of multicolored lights that are throughout town. And for a second, they all turn silver.
Spooky.
Because you too have been touched by the silver flame at this point. And you just, again, 17's not high enough to get a vision, but you do get the sense that the silver flame is also very preoccupied with Artemis and what's going on with Artemis.
Everyone's obsessed.
Everyone's obsessed with Artemis. The other three members of our party spend, the days reading. You can read at Quilanthy's place, but you could also read pretty much anywhere in town. You could read
I
at
want
the
to read in Hot
spa.
Springs.
Yeah, you could read in the spa if you want to. Go ahead. Yeah, you make me a religion or insight check, Artemis.
Boy.
That stresses me out so much.
Oh, it's fine.
You're gonna get water damage on that book. It's gonna warp and it's gonna be unreadable.
I have prestidigitation. I can instantly dry it off.
Okay.
Be fine. It's also going to disappear after I read it anyway. So
That's
21 insight.
21 insight. Okay. This is on the third day. You're reading the book. You're in the spa, and you reach the end of the book. You feel like, you've done a lot of mental work these last 3 days. It's the end of the day. You're tired. But you feel invigorated. The book brought up a lot of really great points about persuasive rhetoric and how to engage an audience and ways to carry yourself to project certain feelings and emotions and blah 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 blah. And so you can go ahead and raise your charisma score by 2 to a maximum of 22. But as you do finish this book and you're in the springs and you set it aside and you just sort of, I think you're not even sure if you nodded off or if the vision came to you in a conscious moment here. But you find yourself before the silver flame once again.
Sorry, I was naked like 3 seconds ago.
And why should I care about your clothed state?
Well, most people care.
Well, I am a god.
That's true.
You are doing well. You are close to Oikos.
Thank you. I'm going to stand in a pose that was talked about in the book. A leadership pose, a power pose. Just.
When you arrive, you will need there will be a lot that needs to be done, I will say.
Can you give me a list? Or
There are some in Oikos who have kept the old ways alive. They are hidden. But if you track down Firan Zal'Honan, he is the leader of those who still keep the silver flame in their hearts. Find him, and he will aid you as he is able.
Firan Zal'Honan, right? That's a familiar last name. I will check my notes as to why that is. Right. So, that's a reason. What else? Or will this person tell me more?
Firan will be able to give you a better idea of the condition of things in Oikos, but you can also learn a lot by exploring the city. But don't charge in and make yourself known to the Golden Flame. Keep a low profile until the time comes to deal with your ancestor.
So, dealing with the ancestor, getting rid of the golden flame, that's the goal. Giving you more of a stronghold.
Well, ideally, the goal will be, once we remove the golden flame from the equation, we might be able to bring all of Oikos back.
Right. Sounds easy.
Anything but you will have the power of a god on your side. And your friend Nyx's magical device that she has been assembling.
Oh, you know about that.
Of course. It will be imperative if we are to save Oikos as a city.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. I think. Nyx knows. She's got it under control.
Well, it will be something that will require... It is not something she will just be able to do. It will require cooperation between her, the device, and myself. But we should not preempt this conversation, Artemis. There is still the matter of defeating the Golden Flame. Once that is taken care of, we can move on to the next step of getting Oikos back home.
Oh, there's someone hunting me, by the way. They were Penny's mom for a long time. And man, my notes are not good. I don't remember their name. That would be really useful to tell you right now.
The collar.
That's right. You know, the power of friendship is really something. I can hit. The name The Collar? Spooky, big,
It's
insignificant.
Not an entity I am familiar with beyond what you have learned here in Ravenloft.
Strangely, that does make me feel better. If you don't know him, then he's not like a great
Well,
big powerful thing. He's just a
that-
person.
that remains to be seen. Ravenloft is a domain that is difficult for we gods from outside of Ravenloft to gain a great understanding or foothold in. As far as I'm aware, there are very few gods that are able to have a foothold here, such as the Raven Queen.
Well, I'll keep an eye out. I'm sure he won't catch me off guard again. He got lucky last time.
Well, please do. It would not be beneficial for you to die now.
I like you too.
Farewell for now, Artemis. And good luck. And the vision fades and you're back in the spa.
Drinking water.
Jinarra, you reach the end of the 3 days and you've finished the book. You have learned all sorts of things about, you know, workout techniques and how to carry yourself. Like, it was all stuff you were already good at, but now you feel like you have an even better understanding of your body and how to move and how to be limber and like special stretches and all this stuff. And so you may increase your dexterity by 2 to a maximum of
Cool.
22.
Great.
So, and Nyx, same thing. She learns like mental exercises and arcane formula and all sorts of stuff to improve her intelligence. But you all finish your 3 days of downtime, take a last long rest, and wake up on the morning of the 4th day after chilling here in town for a little while. Is there anything else anybody wants to do in Nevichar Springs before you set off to return to Firan?
Shopping trip?
Shopping.
You do some shopping here. What do folks want to buy?
Soap.
Soap. You can find some very nice soaps here, actually. They do have a fair bit of soap in a spa town. Funny enough.
Incredible.
Ooh, this one's fully organic and biodegradable.
I'm pretty sure you already cleared Cardina of all the potions that caught your eye there. I'm pretty sure you did that like at the beginning, and it takes a while to brew potions, so she hasn't really restocked yet. It's only been a few days. But if there's anything else y'all want to look for.
Is there any other like magical supply shops that I could just like refill? Just regular supplies for spells and whatnot.
Can we investigate
Yeah.
the death orb in that one?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's in Cardina's house. You can go ask her about it if you want.
Do we have to explain how we know about it?
No, she let us in. I mean, we told her
Well,
about it. We warned her about it.
Quilanthe knows about it. Cardina
Oh!
doesn't know that you broke into her house unless Quilanthe told her. You're not sure.
We're all friends now.
I mean, Bowmin has no shame. He will tell her. He'll tell her. But if anyone else wants to do things before that, we can.
So, I mean, in
That's
terms
fine.
of like shopping for like regular like components for component pouch, you can get pretty much anything you need for like spell casting components. If you're looking for like diamonds, for instance, for Revivify, I'll probably have to have you make a check to find diamonds for those sort of higher level resurrection spells.
I would like to do that.
That's what I'm looking for sure.
Yeah, make investigation
Sure.
checks to look for diamonds.
Investigation, that's you. I'm helping Bowmin.
Bowmin has 0 for his investigation.
I have -1.
All right, Bowmin got a nat 20 though, so it's still a nat 20.
Damn.
Okay.
You're like, Calanthe, your mom's engagement ring was on the bedside table.
you do find you do find a jeweler's shop, which has a variety of, you know, gemstones and stuff in like rings, right? For different spells or whatever. You would know that, like, so with Revivify, right, you just need 300 gold worth of diamonds. It could be any combination of diamonds, but kind of the downside of Revivify is you have very limited window in order to cast it in. Higher level resurrection spells require single diamonds worth larger amounts of gold. This shop does have a couple of engagement rings featuring larger diamonds. And as a paladin, you kind of know what resurrection spells are out there. You do find one ring here that has a diamond worth 500 gold, which 500 gold, a single diamond worth 500 gold is the requirement for the spell Raise Dead, which can resurrect anybody who has died within the last 10 days.
Quick question to the group. Who knows that?
Elina could have it at any time by preparing it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you have 5th level spells.
I
Yes.
During any of the 9 days, we could get it.
Yes.
Right.
I can learn it
Um,
in a couple levels, I believe.
There is also, hold on, let me.
Need to check that.
You also know, again, as a paladin, an even higher level resurrection spell, which is just called Resurrection, which is a 7th level spell. That can revive anyone who died within the last century who didn't die of like natural causes. That one requires a
I could
single.
also get.
Yeah. That one requires a single diamond worth 1,000 gold pieces, and you also find a ring with that quality of diamond in it.
Jeez.
So you have a 500. You have the options to get a 500 gold diamond and a 1,000 gold diamond, and you would just buy the ring, and then
Take the diamond.
the spell would just consume the diamond and leave the band.
How many just straight up Revivify level diamonds can I see?
3.
Okay.
We're there together, right?
No, don't.
Don't worry about this, Jinarra. I got that.
Okay.
Hello, good seller of jewels. I'm looking for some diamonds.
Good seller.
As I see you have. What is
Buying an
your-
engagement ring for this lovely lady here?
Absolutely not, actually.
No,
No.
Oh.
no.
No.
Okay. What's the occasion for?
Okay.
I mean, can you really have an occasion for just love? Really? And really, self-love is really the most important of love. So,
Truer words were never spoken, my friend. Well, yes, did you have your eye on anything in particular, or can I help you find something?
well, I see you have a variety of highly coveted diamonds right here.
Yes, diamond jewelry is always very popular.
So I see you have this one price at 1,000, another price at 5,000, and 3 at 300. No, 1,500, and then 3 at 300.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I want to take all of them off your hands.
My goodness, now you are a scamp. How many people are you giving jewelry to?
A lot.
I have more than just 5 fingers, so.
Well,
Also self-love.
well, Certainly you're welcome to purchase them. That is quite the large purchase.
Well, I would love to purchase them, but I don't really feel like paying the price of 2,000 and
400.
let's say
2,400.
2,400. How does this just a 1,900 sound for everything?
Go ahead. This is going to be a quite difficult persuasion check because you're basically cleaning this guy out. And it's going to be a while before he has jewelry with other gems, but as he said, diamonds are the most popular. So, make me a very high difficulty persuasion check here to convince him to part with all of his diamond jewelry at a discounted price.
Okay. Is there any chance that I can say that I prepared was it enhanceability before this for the charisma check specifically?
You're trying to get advantage, right? That's what it does.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, Jinarra's here.
I mean, I'm here.
Can
Jinarra
Jinarra
can
give me
just give
the-
you the help action.
Okay.
Jinarra, what do you do to try to help him
He
out?
really likes rings on his fingers, and he left all of his at home, so
Gotcha.
self-love, man.
I see. What'd you get, Bowmin?
But with advantage, that is a 29.
Okay. 29.
DC's 30.
DC was
I mean,
20.
that'd be fair.
DC was 25, so
Also, I would just like to say that we are the people that maybe saved the town, and we didn't have another Dark Lord. If that does anything for us, we want to just make sure that everyone here is happy and safe as well.
And if someone in our party dies,
No, this is for me. This is for me. He doesn't know. We don't want to. He doesn't know.
well, it's unlikely that somebody would try to buy it all at once. This would be a big payday for me. Can you swing 2,000?
yes.
Oh, you drive a hard bargain. I think I can swing a 2,000. Oh, it's gonna be hard to give out, but you know what? I'll throw in another 100, and that's for you. That's for you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, thank you for your patronage. And he, bags up your gold and hands you bags up the rings, and a couple of the 300 ones are in earrings actually, and hands them to you. And you depart with the diamonds.
Very much.
Bowmin is going to walk out the door and immediately just start snapping them out of their gold bands and things, put them in his pocket, and specifically the portable hole.
Okay. Right.
And
Go to Jinarra. Do you need gold bands for anything?
Artie might want them. I don't know why Artie would want them, but I feel like that's something Artie would want.
That does feel like
Or
something.
Penny Presswell.
Okay, but I'm not gonna give them to... Can I give them to you? Because I feel like last time Penny was presented a ring, it was Artemis proposing, and it was all...
Oh yeah.
I don't want that.
And she
I don't.
shot him.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think Penny likes me as it is, and I don't want her to have that relationship as well with me. So.
I'm now understanding why Zuzu was pointing at herself.
Okay. You have the diamonds. You're set.
Are you covering the cost? We can split it. I was there with you.
Got it.
And unless anybody had anything else they were shopping for in town. Great.
I'm just gonna spend some time with Calanthe.
She is like, dude, I get that traveling.
Sorry, I was just going to sit here.
I get that traveling
finished my book.
troubadours like it when someone plays hard to get. I swear to you, I'm not playing hard to get. I'm just not interested.
Oh, I do finally understand that.
Okay,
But this time, I just had one last little question for you.
what's that?
Oh no, Matt forgets the question.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Nope, it's not coming back. We're gonna make something up. We'll find it. You see, we've been traveling for quite a while, and I'm looking for a new place. Oh, I remember why I came here. If you're a little, you and your mother are a little wishy-washy on leaving here, you know, if you a lot of options, a lot of great options are being thrown out there. There's a possibility, don't like hang your hat on it or anything, but there's a possibility that I might, after all this is over with, and it might take a very long time, and I might be crippled and very much dead and then brought back, and it could take a little bit of time. But if you have the time, I might just swing back on my way out of Ravenloft. I have a very empty house. Not saying like live with me, but I need people in this house. And to be completely honest, they work for me. I would be willing to offer a job. Think about it. And it's very down the line. A lot of things have to go very right.
I will keep your offer in mind. Thank you. I do appreciate it. You know, I will also, though, not count on you making it back here. Ravenloft is,
and
it's no, I'm not trying to say anything about your character. It's just that Ravenloft is dangerous, and even those that manage to leave Ravenloft, you know, they may not find an easy way. They may not leave at exactly the time they thought they were going to leave. And they may not be able to find their way back. And then if they do, they may be trapped forever again. So I'm just...
Fair enough.
I appreciate the offer. I would not want you throwing yourself back into danger just to come and give my mother and I a job offer.
I've done stupider things.
Well, but I appreciate it, regardless.
Right. Anyway, I need to get back to my friends because I'm very scared to be alone right now. A demon could pop out of absolutely any hole in the wall and try to kill me, so goodbye.
Farewell. Best of luck on your travels. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
I leave her a pair of Alfonso Alexander's monogrammed underwear.
Hey,
Wait,
what does this mean? And you're off. You leave. And you guys return to the mists to travel back to Firan. You guys were gonna end downtime, but there was one other thing, Zuzu, you wanted to try doing.
We're holding.
Okay, I couldn't unmute myself because the volume thing was stuck over my microphone. So every time I clicked it, it would just raise and lower my volume. I'm
Great.
sorry. Anyways.
Great.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I want to try to read Firan's spellbook.
Great.
Who has it? Oh, Bowmin does.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have the spellbook. You're able to look at the spellbook. Go ahead, just very quickly as you try to open it, make an intelligence saving throw for me.
You're nearby Bowmin, so that's a +5.
Okay.
Are we all here?
We can say you're doing it in Philanthropes at the end, like at the end of your last day before hitting the road again. If you want.
Okay, also I'm pretty sure I can re-roll a saving throw.
Yeah, you have Indomitable.
But I have to use that, right? It's not like an
I believe
advantage.
so, yes.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Intelligence. All right. So it's going to be with Bowman's help a 22.
22. Okay. You are able to open the spell book. It resists you a little bit as you try to open it, but you manage to force the book open. What languages do you speak / read?
I think common, and that is maybe it. Hold on.
Ace reporter.
Common and Elvish.
Common and
Ace,
Elvish.
not international.
This book is not written in a language that you understand. So
Okay.
you could memorize the symbols if you wanted to, but you wouldn't know what you were getting. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now there are still it's not just words, right? It's also arcane formula. So you could theoretically make an educated guess about like what you wanted to grab, but it's such a thick spell book that even for your prodigious memory skills, it would be difficult to memorize like the whole thing of a language you don't understand. Leave it up to you whether you want to try your plan still or not.
Are there any pages that look specifically worn or have extra notes on them? Like,
Make
you
an-
know,
Any dog ears that you can see?
right.
Make an
Any
investigation
like
check.
anything that says in common, this page very important.
Make an investigation check.
Okay. Ooh. 26.
26. There are a couple of pages that do seem a little more that do seem like they're a little more well used. And then there are some that seem like they're more recently. Like you can tell which ones are like have been in the book for a long time and have been referred to many, many times. And you also know which ones are the newest. But you don't know anywhere in between.
Does anyone in the group know this language? Everyone look at it. Does anyone understand this?
What languages do people speak? /
It's not-
read specifically.
It's not an orc, is it?
It is not an orc.
Is it an
Unless-
undercommon?
It is not an undercommon.
Is it in
Is it-
Thieves' Cant?
It's not in Thieves' Camp.
Is it in
Celestial or
Dwarvish
Draconic.
It is not in Celestial or Draconic. It is not in Dwarvish.
And not
Infernal?
Gnomish.
It is not in Infernal.
Since when do I know Infernal? Apparently I know Infernal.
I will say the script is Infernal, but it is not
Ugh.
written in Infernal. So it uses it uses the letters from the Infernal alphabet, but it is not written in Infernal. It's written in a different language that uses the Infernal alphabet. You may
You've
make
You've
it
gotten us with this language many times.
Yes, correct. You may make an intelligence check to see if you can identify what other languages use the Infernal script.
Yeah, I
Me?
want to figure that out.
Yeah, Jinarra or Elina.
Just a flat intelligence.
Just a flat intelligence.
14?
Can I give Elina advantage instead
Sure.
of rolling?
Sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
Ooh, that was worse. Still 14.
So 14. I will say, even with just a 14, the only other language you know of that uses the Infernal alphabet is Abyssal.
Okay.
So
I'll tell everybody that. We can't do anything about it.
yeah, unless somebody has comprehend languages.
No, that would be convenient.
I'm gonna.
If only
Read.
Octavia were here.
I don't think, did she have that?
I don't know.
But she
I
would have
assume
known. She would have
Octavia
found a
had
way.
everything.
She would have found a way to just learn Abyssal in an hour. I will look over the well-worn ones
Okay.
and a handful of the newer ones. I'll just skim through, make sure I get all of the well-used ones, and then focus on some of the newer ones, whatever else I get in between.
Okay.
Just so I can copy them down.
Yeah.
Whatever I can in the time I have.
Yeah. Mark down that you have copied down 6 assorted spells from Aslan Rex's spellbook to be deciphered later. These cannot be used as spell scrolls because you haven't copied them down with the correct materials, but you have the exact text. So they could be copied down as a spell scroll or into another wizard's spellbook later. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have 6 assorted spells, and we will adjudicate what those spells are when the time comes. So after that flashback, you guys have journeyed back into the mist. Oh, Nyx, was there anything you wanted to do? I mean, you were mostly just reading
read
the
my
book for
book.
3 days. Didn't really get much of a chance to do anything else. So unless it was something small, or everybody did shopping at the very end. So unless there's something you wanted to buy.
I am also whittling when I need to stop
Okay,
my reading, when I need to take a break.
great. You do a little whittling on the
Mhm.
side. Okay, you guys, enter the mist again. Who's leading the way?
I'll lead the way.
Great.
Can we say before we journeyed, I did a speech and gave
Yeah.
everyone 17
Yep.
temporary hit
Love.
points.
Right, we should
Yeah.
be long rest.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you haven't already long
Oh,
rested, make
yeah.
sure you did that. You should be fresh. Yeah, Artemis, since you're leading the way, go ahead and roll 2d6 for me.
Oh, goody.
47.
Do you want the total or numbers?
Total.
5. That's how math works. 5.
Okay. Then roll a d20 for me twice and give me both individual numbers.
17 and 5.
17 and 5. Okay. Then I need one last roll from you here. Go ahead and roll
Oh,
a
boy.
d100 for me.
Ooh.
We are going to fight Fearkindler again.
Again.
But it's real.
100 fear kindlers. 79.
79.
Ooh, 10 away.
Okay.
89.
From 89.
As you are making your way back through the mists,
I'm never leading us ever again.
through, moors, across bridges, through long lost forests. I mean, as usual, the landscape seems to change, promising the idea that there are lands in the mist, but you can't make out, more than, I don't know, say 50 to 100 feet around you. You eventually stumble upon, I would say probably after about 2.5 hours, you eventually stumble upon crumbling ruins of a small village. Here, lost in the mist, swallowed by the mist. The mist talisman that you are using to guide you back to Mordia, has you going through this village.
Is
Does
this how
it
we
look-
got?
No, we got here, but we've chased after Jinarra, so we kind of went off the beaten path,
Yeah.
Maybe we went around this last time. All right.
possibly.
Does anything look familiar?
Nothing that looks particularly familiar.
Okay.
Just the ruins of a village here in the mist.
How
Does
big is it? Like, how many buildings would you say? Ballpark, not exact.
Ballpark, I would say you can probably make out about 7 buildings in this
Oh.
area.
So we could
And-
look through it if we wanted.
can
You can investigate it if you want.
Bowman's gonna do a divine sense real quick.
Yeah, do
I'm
it.
investigating it.
Great.
I'm also investigating.
Don't
Great.
go too far off where the talisman's wanting us to go.
25.
25. Wow, that's really good.
Thanks. I have +7. It's my one good thing I can do.
I got a 16.
Got a 16. Okay. Penny,
Goodness.
with a 25, I would like you to roll a D100 for me, but I'd like you to roll D100 with advantage. So roll D100 twice and then tell me what the bigger number is.
Okay. Let me make sure my dice are matching. That's important to me for some reason. Okay, we have 18. Wait, you want the combined for both rolls?
So tell me what the first D100
Okay.
gives you and what the second D100 gives you.
18
Okay.
and
We won higher than that, I think.
okay. So I got wait, so I'm rolling a percentage die and a
Uh-huh.
D10. Okay. One is 0, which I'm guessing is 100, right?
100 or 0, depending on what the
Okay.
other number is.
Okay. So the first was 18, the second was a 1.
Second was a 1. With an 18, so you do a
He
very
specifically said, at advantage, give me the higher number.
nothing
want
nothing
big
bad
numbers.
happens. You were rolling to see what you would find. And with an 18 as the higher of
Highest?
your two numbers,
Higher than 1.
higher than 1. You do you do a thorough search of this very of this small village. You're looking for just anything interesting, anything useful, anything to even tell you, what the heck this place
And
was.
a cat. Penny's looking mostly for a cat.
Or a cat or anything.
That's pretty high on the list.
And you don't find anything interesting at first sort of glance. But as you are going through, you do eventually find sticking out of a desk is a little corner of cardstock of some kind. And as you sort of open it up and pull it out, you find that this is just a plain tarot card, specifically of let's see, I'm gonna have you roll for it actually. It's 22. Just roll a d20.
9.
9. You find a card of the Hermit. And as you're looking at it, the image on the card looks like a little bit like you.
Okay.
But that's the only thing you find.
Did I get anything in my divine sense?
Nothing on your divine sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna pocket the cursed card
Great.
and head back to my friends.
Add 1 copy of the Hermit Tarot card that looks like Penny Presswell to your inventory.
That's not a bad card, though. That foresees good things. The Hermit does.
So there you go. You rejoin the group after investigating the village, and you all continue on your way. And you return to Lamortia without further incidents. You make your way back to the steam-powered metropolis of Ludendorff, make your way through the streets of the city towards the university, and eventually reach the bookstore verbatim. Is there anything you want to do before you enter and face
Let's
Firan
game
Zal'Honan?
plan. Away from
we can say you game planned on the journey. So what talk out your game plan if you guys want.
All right. The thing is, if he truly is Aslan Rex, he'll probably have enough power to get the book from us, whether we like it or not. But we could just double check to see if he's reformed. I highly doubt that, but also we got to figure out what our moral reliance on this current realm, because there's currently already one Dark Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like it's better if he just like goes back immediately.
He's probably not going to go back to his own imprisonment, though. The dragon's probably not going to see him again. It's probably waiting for someone that's not actually going to return. Unless the guy surprises me.
also, do we want him to know that we know?
I don't think so.
He currently has a bit of me. I'd like to get that first. And all of it back.
Also, he promised me a really cool thing for giving him the head of that last Dark Lord we
Wait, did you get?
Just do a deck of many things. Do it.
Wait, who was the? Oh, did you get the head?
Yeah, I
He
decapitated.
gave,
It was a whole
he
thing.
did. I specifically made note about it, so yes, he did.
Wow.
We'll keep talking then.
So wait. So okay. Here's the thing. Why don't we want him to have the spell book? Because he could be evil, or do we not care? Because here's my opinion, right? We have white knighted ourselves up and down Ravenloft for like what feels like 10 day after 10 day. I feel like we've reached a point where these people are just going to live their lives, and we cannot play savior god complex to every single little town we come across. You know what I mean? We're nice people. We're great people. We care about the people. We do what we can. But also at the end of the day, like, we got to get back to Waterdeep. You know?
Yes, and to add on to what Penny is saying, if we don't give him the book, he won't help us, probably.
Right.
And I'm not saying this will happen for sure, but if they can take over Penny's body, what's stopping them to doing that in our material realm and taking over? So we gotta weigh out the evils and the pros and the cons, really. And I'm for just giving him the book, if anyone wants to know.
I think the opportunity to ask that they are a nice person, remind them that, you know, they've reached a point that, okay, they demonstrated they could get out of this imprisonment. Congratulations. Now he's got a new opportunity, right? He can choose to be a huge force of good. Use this book to be a force of good. And then what he does with that is up to him. But
Well,
I agree, we shouldn't. I would be in favor of maybe just not trying to control every single thing in a realm that's always bad.
Yeah. We really do need his help, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of in favor of letting him know that we know. I mean, we really don't lose anything from it if we're gonna give him the book anyways.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he would be more pissed off if he found out that we lied. And also, he probably would be able to find out that we're lying very easily.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I mean, here's my thing. I think we give him the book and we do what we can to get out. I understand that he has Artie's hair and that you want that back, and that, like, that's a whole different thing about whether he can do something weird with your body. And like, if you want to try to figure that out, I'm all for that. But also, I don't think we need to try to convince him to. I don't know.
This isn't our world. We're just here.
It's not
sorry.
our world. And also, Darkon was kind of suffering without a guy. So,
Actually, Elina, this is your world. This is kind of your place, the Ravenloft.
Sort of.
What's your 2 cents? Or 2 coppers, really?
I've met many powerful people, and seems I am blanking on. I can't. He's not Aslan Rex right now, but he is. But what? I'm sorry.
Firan.
Firan. Sorry. So Firan seems like if you try to lie to him, he will figure it out fairly quickly.
I agree.
I think our best path forward is to be honest, and there isn't much we can do aside from what we've already done. The world has a lot of chaos in it, and there will always be chaos. We can do the best to help mitigate that where we can. You'll never rid it of it.
So
So we're
just
gonna
go
give him the
in-
book.
Yep,
Yeah.
go in, and if feel makes anyone feel better, I would like to ask him what's his intentions with this book. Kind of lay it all out there.
Yeah, we can have a frank,
Goofy,
non-deceptive conversation.
informal, a little chit chat, if you will,
Ooh, can we get
among
some tea?
coworkers. We could walk in, say, "Hey, Azzy Rexy, not gonna believe what the tea we just found out."
Penny, you can like tap into people's minds, right?
Yeah,
Do you want to like not
not
go deep,
stealthily.
but do you want to just like
Sure.
check in?
I can try.
Don't make
what
it
was-
obvious, but
what
I don't
was-
think it has to be not obvious unless I probe
right,
deeper.
right.
Well, I mean, detect thoughts. Read me the SM and V are the 3 things. What things does it have?
All of them. So there is
Right.
a
So
spoken
I would have to have you make some kind of check to avoid getting noticed casting.
Oh,
But you could succeed on that check, and then
who has the best
or
insight?
you could. How long does detect magic last?
I have a
detect
+9.
thoughts?
1 minute.
So you could cast it right before you enter.
I cast it now. No, I'll cast it right before we enter.
Oh, what was the dragon's name again?
Abishayeth.
So let's go in, say Abishayeth gives his regards, and then we'll just go on from there.
Like
Is there a funny pun we can make on the name Ebashayeth? Quick, Artie, think of what's a pun we can make out of Ebashayeth to make it lighthearted. Show him that we don't care if he's evil. We don't care if he is bad. Abhishek, I hardly know him. I don't. What you do that?
I think that was a beautiful attempt.
Okay.
Does
All right,
anyone,
let's-
before we go in, does anyone feel a need to make sure that they can't, like, people can't, never mind, this ring doesn't really do that. You can't have your thoughts read or know if you're lying or...
I got nothing to hide.
I'm going to cast guidance for Penny, which will let you add a D4 on your ability checks for up to a minute. So
Okay,
I'm gonna cast see invisibility before we go inside, just to.
great.
Mhm.
You guys arrive. You enter through the front doors of the shop. Detect thoughts is up, guidance is up, and see invisibility is up. As you enter, bell rings. Firan Zal'Honan emerges from around, one of the cramped like alleys of bookshelves. And he sees it's all of you. Penny, you get a good, they're back. And Nyx, you just see like the aura of a bunch of arcane shit all about him.
Okay.
With your see invisibility. And he says, my friends, so wonderful to have you back. Thank you. I trust you had a successful trip to Darkon.
It was a whirlwind of an adventure. Truly, a lot of things happened, and a lot of
Yes.
things didn't happen.
Yes, Abhishek does give his regards to you.
Penny, you get interesting. I guess they're not as stupid as they look.
Jesus Christ.
I see you met my old friend. Well, I hope he was of assistance. In
Honestly,
the
honestly,
spell book.
a treat. He was a great host.
Did you know he has 3 kids?
Yes.
So cute.
Are you?
That's a lie, by the way.
Are you like the
You-
godfather?
you-
Is their godfather?
He really sad. You know Abhishek sends him like Christmas cards with his kids all dressed up, and Firan just throws them the fuck out.
Get some. Ew.
Well, we have business to conclude, so shall we step into the back room to finish our business? I believe I owe you 3 things in exchange for my book.
Yes.
So-
We also have a couple questions to ask. If you want to talk in the back, that's fine too.
Yes, let's make your way to the back room, which has all the sort of arcane formula all over the room and on the floor and the walls and stuff, and arcane bookshelves with arcane stuff. The piece of the orrery is not on top of the bookcase that it was before. It's sitting on his desk now, next to Bowmin. Go ahead and you roll a d6 for me.
A D6. That is a 2.
A 2. Roll d100 for me.
Oh my god. So many D100s.
A lot of tables use d100s.
14.
14. So the piece of the orrery is there, and then a relatively large potion bottle is next to it. You don't see the mist talisman yet, but you assume he has that on him or tucked in a drawer somewhere. So he turns to you all and says, so shall we do our deal and then you ask me your questions, or do you want to ask your questions first?
If it's all the same to you, I think we should ask the questions first and then do the deal. If that's fine with everybody else, right?
Yes, you are prepared. We've given you enough time.
Yes, I have completed the Mist Talisman. And I will give it to you once I have my book.
So, first question. What's your deal now? I mean, we know who you are or were, but you're here in a different realm and you want your book back. So, what's the deal?
The deal is that I broke out of my accursed prison, and now I'm trying to find a way to leave Ravenloft entirely.
Fair.
The dark powers are making it difficult. But I wouldn't want to leave Ravenloft without my book.
Fair. It's a
Penny,
book.
you're almost out of time on Detect Thoughts. The last thing you get is a little bit of like, and if my suspicions are correct, before too long, I'll have a way out of Ravenloft.
Follow-up question to that. What is your intentions for when you leave Ravenloft? Are you just trying to retire or are you trying to take over another domain?
Interesting question. What I do after I escape Ravenloft, I suppose, will depend on where I end up.
Exactly.
If I end up in the city of Sigil, say, so, the center of the multiverse, home to the greatest wizards of, all of the history of time. People like Mordenkainen and Bigby and Tasha.
Big B.
If I were to end up there, what I did next would be very different than if I were to end up in, say, Orth. That realm is sort of the birthplace of Vecna. I wouldn't necessarily want to cross Vecna. If I ended up in Toril, I actually don't know what the state of Toril is right now. It's been some time since I've been there. But I would get a bearing on the land. If the Red Wizards of Thay were still around, I think they could probably do with some new leadership. It'd depend on where I ended up.
All right.
So you're looking for like a lateral promotion, leadership to leadership position.
Well, ideally, I would like to be comfortable. And the Detect Thoughts is over, so you're not sure.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions?
What's gonna happen to the people in Darkon?
Frankly, don't really give a damn.
Does not look good on your leadership resume.
Well, that place was my prison. I'm no longer interested in being in my prison.
That's true.
So forgive me if I don't care much about the other prisoners.
I'm not judging. I was just making a little comment.
It does strike me as interesting. Has anyone that you know of ever done what you did? Escaped their prison? Are you the first?
I believe that I am.
I think, frankly, that's, quite impressive. It's very powerful people to get imprisoned there, and somehow you've bested the dark forces, did you say?
The dark powers, yes, well. I haven't bested them entirely, not yet. Still here in Ravenloft, after all. But
Sure.
hopefully I will complete my victory. For one
Right.
such as I, defeat is never a permanent state.
Huh. Imagine it, you know? No one else has ever been powerful enough, clever enough, wise enough, whatever you want to call it, to get to that point. And then if you do actually accomplish it, I mean, what the names you listed off before, I'm not entirely familiar with all of them, but have they done similar, incredible, powerful things like that?
May I ask what your point is?
Well, I do tend to, that's a good point. I do tend to just blab out loud a lot. I'm just kind of like, I'm just thinking. I just don't know if I were in your shoes, like, what would be next? I've proven that I was powerful enough that dark forces decided that I needed to be imprisoned, and then I was powerful enough to get my way out. I just don't know what I would do after that, like you said. It feels like there would be an opportunity to prove the dark forces wrong, in a sense. You know? Like an ultimate spit in their face to say that you made a terrible mistake and watch me thrive. You know, spreading, you know, someone, you probably never bothered yourself. Now, I'm making an assumption about your character. Forgive me on this. But my guess is if someone said you needed to be imprisoned, you weren't considering people, for example, the people in Darkhon, the little people that don't necessarily matter to you, that aren't on your radar, you weren't taking them into account. But what if you could, I don't know, I'm just rambling now, but what if you could do everything that you could do and juggle that responsibility at the same time? Then who could match you?
Are you quite done?
I guess. Just thinking out loud. Can I insight any sort of
Make an insight check.
interest in his eyes?
Make an insight check.
Are we
Oh,
just pissing
nah, I
him off?
rolled a 2. That's a 9.
He's inscrutable. He's hard to read.
I'll think inside my head next time.
I intend to be great wherever I end up. What that looks like will depend on where I end up. I do not intend to be imprisoned in Ravenloft again.
Slay.
Well, I think you've answered all of our questions. Your book, correct? Let me get that for you.
Reach in, hands it off, and just
He takes the book. As he does, the arcane symbols in the room briefly flash for a moment, and like wind whips through the room, making your hair, messing up all of your hair. And then it quiets down. And he
Crazy draft in here.
takes the book. Very well. Let us complete our deal then. First, this magic item that your gnome friend seemed so fond of. And he hands over a piece of the Orrery of the Wanderer to you, Nyx. This particular piece is the timepiece of travel.
That's what I thought it would be.
Next, I was able to use the head of the Dark Lord you brought me. I was able to use it. Unfortunately, it had lost some of its magic by the time you gave it to me, but I was still able to use it to produce this potion. And Bowmin, he hands over to you a potion of healing supreme. And lastly, the reason for our wonderful deal. And he pulls open his sort of jacket. He produces Artemis, it's your hairs. They are tied together into sort of an intricate knot shape. And he holds it aloft and he closes his eyes and thinks for a minute, and they burst into silver flame. When you concentrate on them, they burn like this and will work as a mist talisman. But they will never burn away. And simply by dropping your concentration, and they stop burning. Here you are. And he hands you the mist talisman.
Wonderful. This is all my hair.
Of course.
Insight check, please.
Make an insight check.
I would insight check that too.
Yeah, go for it.
23.
23. Jinarra, what did you get?
I rolled terribly. I got a 12. I got a 2 on the die.
Okay.
Aw.
23
know.
then. Okay. Hold on, let me just check something here. Artemis, he's lying.
Yeah.
Gilly.
I'm just gonna like tuck the talisman, like nod a little bit, tuck the talisman into my pocket, and say, "We got you your book. That means everything to you.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to give you another chance. All of me, please. Now."
He smiles a little bit. I promise you, I only kept one singular hair, and I will not do anything to harm you or your compatriots. In fact, if one of you has a zone of truth, feel free to cast it now and ask me the question. I will submit to it. I will not use your single hair to harm you or your friends.
Why do you keep it then?
Call it arcane curiosity.
Just throw this out there. Are you trying to use it as a tether to get back to a different realm?
If I were,
Nothing I can really do about it. You're Aslan Rex, after all.
Mr. Brightshield, and he holds the single hair. You may attempt to take it.
Can I do it?
Ooh!
As he's
I'm
talking,
a
Nyx is
message.
taking
No,
over.
I'm a message Artie, and I'm like, you want me to do it?
God!
I can throw him off his rhythm.
Nyx was zoning out the whole time, but her ears picked up at try to take it.
Like, oh,
Be like, let me in, coach. Let me in. Oh. I don't like him having that. My hand is still out. Do I have any shenanigans to fucking pull? I don't think
Can
so.
I cast? I'm messaging. I can cast Mage Hand. I don't even have to like move. Like I could stealthily do it. Like I could stealthily
Nyx-
cast Mage Hand. It's invisible. It'll just like. Boop.
Nyx is screaming into Artie's mind.
Yeah.
I got you.
Do you want it?
I. Ben, question.
Yeah.
What do I know of the capabilities from stories, from lore, being a College of Lore bard, about stories of people's essences being used for various things? How bad does that get?
History or Arcana, your choice.
We will do history. That is a 23.
23. Depending on the entity, it can be pretty bad. There's lots of stories of hags, fairies, powerful archfey using like people, parts of a person to affect them in some way. There's lots of stories of devils and demons doing the same thing. You are not familiar with any stories of a wizard doing that. But that doesn't mean that a wizard would not be able to do that, particularly a wizard as ancient, learned, and powerful as Limrex. But there is also the matter of him saying that he wasn't going to do anything with it to harm you. Now, whether you believe him or not is a whole other thing.
I think he's gonna follow us.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Lich will let me use it.
Hearing Nyx screaming in my head, I'm just going to say to him, please, it's important to me.
Then show me how important. Can you get it?
I'm gonna start reach, and in my mind I'm gonna tell Nyx, hopefully be putting on a deceptive act to help her. Say,
okay,
get it.
Make a deception check.
As this is going on, Bowmin is slowly pulling out his great axe. It's just like,
ooh.
And Penny is pulling on his arm, trying to put it back.
I need calculator. Wait, I can do this. I have a college degree. 34?
Okay.
Holy what?
passive perception
18,
is
18
like
and 16?
Yeah.
That's a plus. I have a plus 16 now.
Yeah. Okay.
passive is 50.
Nyx, I would like for you to roll initiative for me.
Oh.
Just Nyx, because we're determining what happens first.
12.
Okay. 15. You cast your spell to try to steal it.
I stealthily cast.
You go to stealthily
Mage Hand.
cast Mage Hand. You blink, and he's gone.
Well,
I would like anybody who's interested to make an Arcana check for me.
Sure.
I think we're all interested. I won't speak for anyone.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. That's
21.
21, 16. Bowmin with a nat 20, you know some powerful magic was cast in the split second before Nyx was able to do her spell. And
I don't.
as you look around, you see a note on the desk.
Is it written in freaking?
It is, so it's written in common. It's written in common. It's a very short note. And it says, excellent attempt. Perhaps I'll see you again.
No.
That note doesn't affect us because we can't read.
The Lich isn't gonna let me use the orrery if he's coming with us.
I feel like he was telling the truth.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna hurt us, but I betcha he's trying to hitchhike his way back to our house.
Oh, like to Waterdeep?
Yeah.
But that's a Waterdeep problem.
And guess who's Waterdeep?
When we are back in Waterdeep and we have Octavia can snap little Firan like a she's probably so smart now with the magic cops.
I don't know if we can get back if he's with us.
Artemis, what did you say?
I'm doing detect magic.
Okay, you cast Detect Magic. The lingering effects of whatever spell he cast are still in this room. You get 2 spell effects lingering and very quickly fading. One's transmutation, one was conjuration.
Is there anything else magical in this room?
Everything that was magical is gone. Except for the stuff that he gave you. Go ahead now with the Detect Magic up. Make an Arcana check with advantage to see if you can determine what spell or spells were cast here before the aura fades completely.
Like 15.
15. You're not sure. Whatever it was powerful.
I'm gonna
Well-
kick a chair over or something. I'm mad.
Well, nothing we can really do about it now, so let's just go.
Can I try to contact my parents? My
Yeah.
mom?
Yeah,
Or do I have
you
to roll for that again?
D100.
All the D100s. Okay. 83.
Okay. Message will go through just fine. What do you say specifically?
It's 25 words, right?
Yep.
Hi, Mom. We're alive. Heading to finish this. She's not gonna know what they are. Big bad might hitch ride to Waterdeep. We might need help when we arrive. Hope you are all safe.
You send that message and you eventually get back. We're doing well, continuing to follow Fear Kindler. He has many different layers, and every time we make it to one, he has already abandoned it for the next one. But if some evil thing follows you back home, I'm sure it will not stand a chance against our combined power.
We at least have the last adventurers probably meeting us when we get back, just in case we have a big fight immediately.
All right. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I could probably use a drink before we go off to the mist.
Yeah.
Well, with that, you go ahead and depart the now ownerless bookstore verbatim. And
He's not coming back.
I
I take 5 books before I leave. Just
Great.
at random.
Sure, perfect. Add 5 books to your inventory.
The
Um,
Diary of a Wimpy
Most
Wizard.
expensive I can find.
Yep.
I'm
that's
like looking
fine.
at price tags.
5 expensive books. Add 5 expensive books to your inventory. And you now have the Mist Talisman to get you to Oikos, where you have been heading this entire time. And we will end tonight's episode. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.